we have two ISPs. Router 2 is one ISP providing these networks. Router 9 also provides the same network because that is ISP, Internet Service Provider, provides the internet networks. So we have two ISPs connected to two different autonomous systems here. And you got your office in the middle. This is your office network. Right. This is your office network. Let me put it in a different color. Yep. Inside you got multiple areas. And you got two clouds which is representing two ISPs, providing you same route information from either side. Now, initially I do not want to have this connection, so I disconnect. Or let's say this one. I do not want to have this connection, so I disconnect. Let's say we got only one ISP. I own all these routers. We are going to learn 4 different types of stub. Stub, totally stub, not so stub area, totally not so stub area. When it comes to not so stub area and totally not so stub area, we need 2 ISPs. Otherwise you don't need 2 ISP. To learn that first 2, I no need this router 2 to be connected, so I disconnected. Later we'll add it. As of now, one internet connection, router 9. So let's say between R8 and R9 we have BGP. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run BGP. Between router 8 and router 9 I'm going to run BGP. Let's say router 8 is in BGP 80. Router 9 is in BGP 90. So using BGP I'm going to advertise these networks to router 8. Let me start configuring the ISP first. Let me use a notepad for fast configuration. .89.89.0.9 and then interface loopback 0 will have IP address 1.1.1.1. Interface loopback 1 will have 1.1.2.1 and so on. So let me just copy this and I'll paste it like 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Let me go top and start reusing it. 3 here, 3 here, 4 here and 4 here. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, So we got all the subnodes on loopback. I'm going to delete this last one, which is not needed. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 4. Alright. I'm also going to enable BGP. Router BGP 90. Neighbor is 89.89.0.8. Remote AS will be 80. Networks are 1.1.1.1. Mask likewise, I have 16 masks to network to advertise. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so this is what the configuration that goes on the ISP side. BGP 90. Now if I type this command show IP BGP summary, I should see a neighbor is configured. Show IP BGP, these networks wait some time, the networks will come. Meanwhile, I'll go to router 8 and configure BGP. Router 8 is already having OSPF. Only thing is the BGP I need to put. Show run section router BGP. Sorry, OSPF. I want to show you what is already there in OSPF. See, In OSPF we have network 8.8.8.8 area 500, which means we have advertised this Lubex. Show IP OSPF neighbor. You already have neighbor with router 1. This is router 1. Now additionally we are going to add new interface F0/1. IP address is 89.89.0.8 255.255.0.0. Router BGP 80 neighbor 89.89.09. Remote AS is 90. This part, if you don't understand, don't worry, BGP we are going next, you'll understand. So I'm expecting, see, neighbor. This is what I was expecting. I got a neighborship. Now through BGP, show IP BGP, I can, what is this? Show IP route BGP. I'm expecting these Lubex to come here. Show IP interface brief. Oh, you know what a mistake I did? I know what mistake I did. I gave a wrong mask. This is /24. But on the loopback interfaces, if you see, I put /. It's correct. Then why it is not advertising? 1.1.2.1 mask is /24. It is correct. Show run section router BGP. The configuration is not properly taken. Maybe I have to paste it again.
Maybe the interface is down, sir.
No, loopback interface will never be down because it's loopback. We only create. Something. Okay, I know what. I know where the problem is. When I put 0 in the 4th octet, I should not have any number in the 4th octet. This is the issue. When the 4th octet mask is 0, your address also should be 0. Okay, that was the issue. Now if I paste, it won't be a problem. It's accepted. Now I'm expecting these networks to be advertised. How do I know whether this is getting advertised? Show IP BGP neighbor 89.89.0.8 advertised routes. It says I'm advertising only this. Why? It will advertise all. Gives it advertises all of these networks. Fine. Router 9 is advertising it. Router 8 also should learn it. Earlier router 8 was not showing anything in the routing table, but now it shows all these routes learned through BGP. What is next? Next is I need to redistribute this BGP into OSPF. Router OSPF 1, redistribute BGP 80 subnets. Likewise, I can go under router BGP 80, redistribute OSPF 1. Fine. What I'm expecting now is router 3 should see those redistributed BGP routes. I'll go to router 3 and show you. Show IP route OSPF. You can see external E2. These are all coming from BGP, external, type 5. Type 5 LSA will have E. Those are type 5. This is type 3 coming from other area. IA means type 3. Now you can also see that by typing show IP OSPF database. You see type 5 begins with 1. Now all these are coming from remote. And these are all coming from other area. Now you need to focus closely. When I make this area 1000 as a stub area, type 5 will not be allowed inside, which means I will see these networks in database because it's coming from another area, but I will not see these networks. Instead, what I will see is a default route. R5 will be injecting a default route to all its area member. A default route will be seen as type 3. That is the big difference between default information originate and default information originate will inject type 5 default route, whereas stub will inject a type 3 default route. It is IA type 3. Earlier we learned default information originate. It was E2. Now let us configure stub. If you configure stub on this router, you should immediately go and configure stub on the other routers. Otherwise, the neighborship between R5 and R4 won't come up. Why? The hello packets, if you capture, the hello packets will carry the stub information. I would like to show you that by capturing. Between router 4 and 5, I want to capture.
Sir,
Yes.
in the router gate, did you redistribute the BGP route into web, sir?
Yeah, it's a very late question. You see, I have gone inside OSPF. I have redistributed BGP inside OSPF.
Okay.
Right. So now, when I go to router, the sniffer, and you see this is OSPF, I'm capturing the packet coming from router 5. It's coming out, I'm capturing that, and when you see OSPF header, hello packet, authentication is there, it's a hello packet, mask is there, and when you go inside the options, you don't see stub enabled. You don't see stub enabled. This is the current status. I'll take a snapshot and keep it for you so that you can compare it after we configure stub. Right now this is the status. I'll paste it here. And now I'm going to enable stub and then I'll do a capture again. See what happens. On router 5. Router OSPF 1, area 1000 is a stub. Now if I go to the capture, and pick one packet coming from router 5, you see, you will see packet coming from router 5. Let's compare this and that. You see, earlier the external routing capability was available, meaning type 5 LSA was capable, was available, but now it is not capable. Do you see the difference? It is 0 here, whereas here by default it is 1. Earlier it was 1, but now it is 0 after configuring stub. Now because this is not matching with the neighbor, you will lose neighbor with R4. Now if you go to R5 and check, you already lost the neighbor with R4. Why? Why? Because R4 is not configured as stub. So I'm trying to explain you why I have to enable stub on every router. Router OSPF 1, area 1000 is a stub. After you finish configuring, you will lose neighbor with R3, but you will gain neighbor with R5. Now let's move on to router 3. Router OSPF 1, area 1000 is a stub. After I finish configuring this, if I show you the database, show IP OSPF database, you will not see type 5 anymore. Wait sometime, it will refresh. I'll clear IPBGP star soft. Sorry, clear, sorry, not BGP, OSPF. Clear IP OSPF process. Now, show IP OSPF database. You should not see type 5. Look at this. You don't see type 5. This is type 3, summary LSA. And you got a default route now. Who is giving this default route? Your ABR. Your ABR is giving a default route. You don't see type 5 anymore. So if you go to the routing table and type show IP route OSPF, you will not see any routes to reach 111 network. There is no route to reach 111 network. But you got a default route. Yeah. So this router don't see any 111 network. But you can ping very well. Go to router 3. try to ping 1.1.1.1. Let me see, something is blocking. Show IP OSPF neighbor, you got a neighbor. Show run section router BGP OSPF. These things are not needed. Now clear IP OSPF. I have a default route as type 5, sorry, instead of type 5, but surprisingly I'm not seeing that in the routing table. I should see a default route in the routing table. It says gateway of last resort network. This operating system is somewhat different. Let's go to router 4 and check. Router 4. Show IP route OSPF. This has got the default route. Exactly. This is how it should be. This has got a default route. Now from here, if I try pinging 1.1.1.1, I should ping. See, it's pinging. So there is something wrong with router 3. Let me check. What is the mistake? Show run. There is one static route. Should remove this. Why? Your static route has got more better administrated, zero administrated distance than OSPF. OSPF is 110. So this was the one which was a hindrance. Now let's check. Show IP route OSPF. You see you got a default route on the top. So now if you ping, you can ping 1.1.16.12.1. Even though you don't have a route, you still ping with the help of, you can ping the BGP network with the help of default route. What is the advantage here? Advantage of stub is my routing table is smaller now. Before you configured stub, you had lot of external routes. Not only routing table was bigger, even the OSPF database was bigger. You see, earlier when we checked, there were a lot of E2 routes. And in the database, there were a lot of type 5. Now you don't have any of this. You don't have any E2. It is better to do this because this is a stub area. What is stub area? What is the meaning of stub? Can anyone say the meaning of stub? What is the meaning of stub? No. My question is not OSPF related.
Okay.
In OSPF, when you configure area as a stub, in OSPF when you configure area as a stub, it won't allow type 5 and 4. That's correct. But in general, what is stub?
Does not accept the external.
No. But networking alave irukringa. I am asking simple meaning. Listen. Muttu Sandhu, you know Muttu Sandhu? That is what stub. You see, dead end road, that is what? Stub. This road goes up to router 3 and then dead end. So you no need to have a detailed route to reach ISP. You have only one path via router 5. So instead of learning those networks, you can simply have a default route towards R5. That is enough. That's what stub provides you see. You got a default route towards R5. Go to R4 with the default route. R4 will take you to R5. So how do I know I need to go to R5? You simply go to router 4. But I can show you in the database. Show IP OSPF. You can see the default route is given by R5. So if you go to R5, that R5 will take you to the internet. There is no need for learning those routes, each routes from external autonomous system. It's unnecessary.
We can have more than one ASR in a subsystem. ASR router. Now only R5, only and ASR.
ABR, it's not ASR, ABR.
It's not ASR.
See, having more than one ABR is not at all a recommended topology in first place. If you have more than one, then you need to make sure only one is active for all the routes.
Okay.
See, people who have got more than one ABR, what they do is they will set more cost on one ABR so that it will not be active. If one ABR fails, the other ABR will be a backup. Only for backup purpose, people will use more than one ABR. And it is very rare case. And even if they use, they will use as a backup only. One will be active, one will be backup. Now coming back to our subject. I have configured area 1000 as a stub and I am not able to see type 5. If I make it as totally stub, I will not be seeing even type 3. If I make it as totally stub, even summary LSA won't come. Already type 4 and 5 is denied. Now 3 is also denied. So your routing table will have routes only for your area, type 1 and type 2. For the rest you will have a default route. It's okay. Whether you go to router 8 or router 9, the only exit is router 5. You can do that, right? So totally stub, let us do totally stub. For totally stub only on router 5 you need to add one keyword. Only on router 5. On 3 and 4, area 1000 stub must be there. We have already configured it. Don't delete it. Only on router 5 you delete this and you put area 1000 is a stub, no summary. No summary. Summary means what? Type 3. No summary means no type 3. Now if you check the routing table of R3, it will be very small. Router 3 was having a big, now it's very small. It's very small. You don't have that big thing. And now if you check the routing table, it's very small. And you got a default route. With this you can still ping 1.1.16.1, ping 8. What is that? 8.8.16.1, which is router 8, other area. 8.8.16.1. So this is definitely an optimized routing table. Stub reduces the size of your routing table, the buffer, the process utilization, the database buffer, and all this. Stub is good. We have covered stub and totally stub. Stub will deny type 5 coming inside the area. Instead, it will provide a default route. Totally stub will deny both type 3 as well as 4 and 5. And it will use the same default route to reach the other area as well as external. Ask me question, please, if you have. If no questions, we'll meet